Hello! In my absence today, I'm going to record this video, and just so you guys know, you will be expected to participate with this. The substitute or the TA, Xavier, can go ahead and pause the video whenever the students need more time to discuss. So we're going to start out with some of the different ways of stating weather as we've already done. If you look at the first picture, talk to your neighbor please about two different things that you can say about that picture. Then go ahead and move on to each of the next four pictures. When you're done with that, play this video again, and I'll go through what we're talking about, what you should have said. Okay, so two different ways of stating the weather for the first picture is going to be Das ist die Sonne and Es ist sonnig heute. Go ahead and schnips if you got that richtig. On to the next picture. You could say, das ist der Regen, es ist nass draußen. On to the next picture. Das sind die Wolken, because there are two of them, that's why it's das sind. If I were just talking about one, I could say, das ist die Wolke, es ist wolkig heute. On to the next one, there are three different things that we could say here. We could say, das ist der Sturm, das ist der Blitz, or das ist der Donner. Finally, we could describe that as saying, das Wetter ist schlecht, der Blitz ist hell, der Donner ist laut. And finally, das ist der Schnee ist kalt und weiß. Great job if you had sentences that looked kind of like these. Of course, you had more than one option for each one, so if your words didn't look exactly like mine, cut yourself a little bit of slack and make sure you pat yourself on the back. Now what we're going to do is move on to be able to talk about what the weather is doing. Instead of simply stating what it is, now we want to be able to talk about the kinds of things that you would hear in the forecast. So beginning with die Sonne, we can say die Sonne scheint. You should notice here that scheint ends in a T. The reason for that, of course, is that die Sonne would be the same as an RZS. In this case, it would be a Z because it's a D word. On to the next one, being able to talk about the rain. We could say, es ist der Regen, but if we actually see it happening, chances are we would want to state, es regnet. Again, this is going to end in a T because it's an S that starts the sentence. Talking about the weather in German, just like in English, is going to start with like an it in front of it. There's not much that we could say about cloud cover, so I've changed this to wind. You could say das ist der Wind, or you could say es ist windig. Another thing that you could mention is that der Wind weht. Weht in this case is going to mean blows. Please keep in mind that this is new vocabulary, so this should be written in your Notizen. Take a second and pause the video if students have not yet gotten out their Notizen, and let them catch up. On to the next photo. If we want to talk about what this is doing, again, we have three options. We could say es stürmt, es blitzt, or es donnert. What you should notice here is that all we're doing is adding a T to the end of the words that we learned yesterday. We learned that it's der Sturm, der Blitz, and der Donner. So just like in English, we could say it's thundering, it's lightning, it's storming. All different forms of the noun for the word. Then on to the bottom one, das ist der Schnee. What's it doing? Es schneit. Notice that it looks a lot like the word Schnee, except that one of the E's dropped out and changed into an I there. Es schneit. So, once again, please allow students some time to complete this work. I would like you to please write this down on a piece of paper, and it will be handed in. Take a second to get that piece of paper. Now I'd like you to please fill in the blanks. Es ist sonnig. Die Sonne. Das ist der Regen. Es. Das sind die Wolken. Es ist. Das ist der Sturm. Das ist der Blitz. Und das ist der Donner. Es. Das ist der Schnee. Es. Here are the answers to the previous questions. We should have die Sonne scheint, Es regnet, es ist wolkig, es stürmt, es blitzt, es donnert, and es schneit. You're going to notice that I tried tricking you here. I did not say das ist der Wind. So if I did, I would say der Wind blank, and you would have put der Wind weht. However, since I have clouds in here, es ist wolkig. What you're going to notice is the ist appears because this is an adjective, whereas over here we have es regnet. The ist goes away because that would be a helping verb, which we know are not used in German. Okay, now what you're going to do is take a look at this picture. You should have 30 seconds on the same piece of paper as before to write down anything that you see happening or not happening in this weather photo. Once again, you should have 30 seconds. Please pause this video and give the students 30 seconds to write down what they see happening or what is not. Okay, what you should have is something like this. Die Sonne scheint, es regnet nicht, es schneit nicht, es stürmt nicht. There are some other options that you could have had as well. So for instance, if you said es blitzt nicht, es donnert nicht, der Wind weht, or der Wind weht nicht, those would also be acceptable responses. Please do the same thing for the coming photos. I'll switch the page, give students 30 seconds to write, and then show them what some potential answers would be. You can also get the students' input in terms of what I have written at the top and see if they can predict what that would mean in English. Okay, what's happening in this picture? Es blitzt, es regnet, es stürmt. Nächstes Foto. 30 seconds for this one, please. Die Sonne scheint, es schneit ein bisschen, es regnet nicht, es ist zu kalt. So again, please feel free to be creative with the language. Even though my language wouldn't necessarily reflect what you could do, you could make a sentence like this bottom one here. A couple more. 30 seconds for this, please. 30 Sekunden. Die Sonne scheint, aber es stürmt und regnet auch. Es gibt einen schönen Regenbogen. And 30 seconds for this one. Es regnet viel, es blitzt, es donnert, die Sonne scheint, es schneit nicht. Once again, you could have many different answers for this. Okay, please make sure that your paper is included with your name at the top, and you will be handing in all of your materials together today, so go ahead and hold on to that until you're done with everything else. You're now going to complete a worksheet that has an actual German forecast, which I recorded on Monday. So you're going to notice it'll say Montag on there, however, that is current. Take a look at the questions and answers, work together as indicated, and then when you're finished with that, there will be an English reading to do about the climate in Germany. Again, please feel free to hand in all of your items together. There should be 3 things total. It'll be the paper from this presentation, the first worksheet, which will be in German, and then the second one will be in English. After that, you'll be practicing on Quizlet. Thank you for being a great class today. Auf Wiedersehen.